This is the new segment I call the Real Men of the Week. And I gotta tell you, there are very few left in the Western atmosphere. Majority of Western men, unfortunately, are simps, which is kind of a subspecies of men. But once in a while, you find one. And this week's The Real Men of the Week is the comedian. Jim Jefferies. I don't know how recent this video is actually, but it popped up. It was new on my TikTok feed yesterday, so I figured, hell yeah, let's talk about it, because this short video, it's only a little over 1 minute. It is packed with some real good stuff. So let's watch. And I did check this, and I actually checked it a while back. And when I watched this video and was preparing for this broadcast, I was like, well, yeah, I'm all for facts, right? I'm all for facts. So let's check that. And what he's just about to say is absolutely fucking true. That is correct. And as a matter of fact, the difference between the divorce of lesbian couples and gay men couples is like more than 10 times. No matter which survey you can look at the international surveys, you can look at the just US surveys. I mean, it is staggering. It is absolutely staggering. And think whatever you want about gay marriage, but one definite benefit to the heterosexuals that it and to heterosexual males is that it's for the first time in history of the world we can have this stat, right? We can actually have the stat, and the stat is, well, he will explain it to you in just a second. Yes, please do. Let's mansplain. As a matter of fact, I think men should absolutely own this term. Because a lot of Western men are afraid, like, oh, I don't want to mansplain, I don't want to offend, I don't want to be a sexist. No, 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 no. Let's mansplain from now on, because there are a lot of things that we need to mansplain to Western women. And we can start by mansplaining the lack of men's rights, or the fact that pretty much everything that these women see around them has been built and maintained mainly by men. Then we can also mansplain to them what a good man is, since they don't really know that anymore. Neither their single mothers nor their sometimes simp fathers explained it to them. And as a bonus, we can mansplain to them why getting tattoos and nose rings is essentially putting them out of the dating pool for any good man, and that's how they end up single and lonely with antidepressants and cats in their 30s and 40s. So gentlemen, let's mansplain the fuck out of this world. That this is why it's comedy, right? I knew that, but now I look at it in a whole different world under the stats, right? So listen, this is all fun and games, and this is a very funny bit. As a matter of fact, I love stand-up comedy. When I was younger, I was going to tons of stand-up clubs, and I saw tons of different stand-up comedians, including my favorite ones that like Louis C.K. and Anthony Jeselnik and so many others. But I've never really been a fan of Jim Jefferies. But I got to tell you, I'm finding a whole new level of respect for him, because this is true. This is true, and this is a brand new social experiment that we've conducted in a lot of countries, including this country right here, Thailand. This year, we have here legalized gay marriage, and I'm sure the stats are going to be pretty much exactly the same, even in a culture that's very, very different. So let's be very clear. about this, because, you know, especially as you guys get married, and we just talked about marriage in a previous segment, right? If you get married to a man, you go right ahead, gentlemen. Go right ahead. Seems like it's just perfectly fine union. However, if you're getting married to a woman, then you better think about, you know, who is going to be unhappy and who's most likely to get rid of the relationships. Now, I know there's a stat out there that in the red pill community, a lot of people repeat, but no one really checks because, you know, like Fresh and Fit repeats it, the Pearly Things repeats it, that the like over 80% of divorces have been initiated by women. That is true. The stat is actually 68%, and it gets up to 80 if it's college-educated women. Now, of course, what they don't take in consideration that there are some cases where women are absolutely should be filing for divorce, right? Domestic abuse and so many other things, cheating and so forth and so forth. However, generally speaking, it is women who now believe that they have so many choices when they actually don't. They're not choices, they're options that are usually not very good. And it's men who invest so much into women that when they lose one, it is much harder for them to recover, especially financially, but also mentally. That's just how the world goes around nowadays. Back in the day, it was women who wanted to be in relationships. And now, and men didn't want to. And now it's the other way around, right? It's men who go like, yeah, I'd like to have a wife. This guy, I would love to have a wife. I don't need to have a wife anymore now that I live here in Thailand with so many choices, but I would like to have one. I've always been in great relationships with amazing women. And it's the women who go like, oh, no, I'm good. You know, I'm going to work on myself. I'm going to adopt a cat and pretend like nothing is happening. But as you guys know, including my last night's broadcast, there's plenty of women who are now posting like there is no tomorrow about all of the regrets they've had about not choosing the right man and now being single in their 30s and 40s and sometimes even 50s when the game is completely over. Well, the game is over after 40, really. And then we know where they're going to end up. And men like me, and I'm almost 50, we're having a good time. And now with the AI coming out with, you know, virtual girlfriends and AI robotics and another probably decade coming out with, you know what, we might never be coming back.
If you want to ditch modern women and move abroad for more traditional relationships, go to themillionmanproject.com, take my most comprehensive course, and change your life.